Welcome to this week's episode of the Sports Report. I'm Alejandra Beltran. Today we have with us UF men's and women's golf coach, Dominic Guarnieri. Welcome to the set.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. So, how would you sum up your season so far?
So on the men's side, I'll start with the men. We've had 4 tournaments so far this fall, and we've won 3 of them. We've set a couple records, 18-hole record, 36-hole record, so we're off to a really good start, and I'm really pleased with where we're at going into our last 2 tournaments of the fall. And then on the women's side, we've had 3 tournaments. We started out at Indianapolis, and it was a field full of nationally ranked teams. We finished second there, and then we've won our last 2 tournaments. So also really pleased with their side of things as far as how they're playing and competing.
That's really great. If you could use 3 words to describe your teams this year, what 3 words would you use?
Motivated would be one, consistent so far, and togetherness.
And is this the 3 words that you're going to describe for both the men's and the women's?
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. Who have you seen really step up this year?
Honestly, multiple players on both sides. So on our men's side, we have 2 of our top 6 players are seniors. Luke Kelly has our best average through 4 tournaments. He's really improved, honestly, every year from his freshman year to his senior year. He always has had the talent in the game, but he's really improved as far as his maturity and how he handles himself on the golf course, and it's really shown through these first 4 tournaments. And on the women's side, we have kind of a mix. We have 1 senior, 1 junior, a sophomore, redshirt freshman, and then also another senior that's in our top 5. And they've all kind of come together and played well at different times. So I would say all of them collectively as a whole have played really well to start the year.
Okay. How does this year's teams compare to previous teams?
So on the men's side, we've steadily improved over the years. This year, I think we've made our biggest jump, at least what I've seen so far, through 4 tournaments. Like I said, obviously our scores are showing that, but they've really come a long way from last year to this year. We had essentially 6 of our top 7 players back from last year's team, and they've all gotten better in one way or another, and it showed with our scores. On the women's side, we lost 2 of our top 5 players last year, but we've had 2 girls that have really came in and stepped up this year. Mackenzie Kenoy, who hadn't played much in the top 5 previously, but she's a senior, and then we have a redshirt freshman, Danby Kim. So they've kind of replaced our 2 seniors with the 3 returners that we've had and made an impact right away.
That's really good. What have the greatest challenges been so far during the season, if any?
On the men's side, honestly, I would say really figuring out who we're going to play for certain tournaments. I mean, we have 14 guys right now that could play, and 4 through 8 are really, really competing heavily. So that's been kind of a challenge. As a coach, deciding who we should have in our top 5. Mm-hmm. On the women's side, so far, there hasn't really been a ton of challenges as far as who should play and who should not. We have a smaller team on the women's side. So, one of our biggest challenges throughout the years for the women's team has been when we do play like conference events. When we came into the GMAC, we were significantly better than the other teams. So getting them to play not down to the competition, and we've done a really good job with that. So.
Okay. So what about successes in the season?
Well, like I said, so far we've got, out of 7 total tournaments, we have 5 wins and 2 second-place finishes. So we've been very successful, and both teams have 2 tournaments left this fall, and there's no reason why we don't think we should win both those tournaments as well.
Okay. When you are recruiting student athletes, what do you look for in a prospective athlete?
The first thing I look for is, are they what we want off the golf course? There's a lot of guys out there that can play golf, but we want them to be the right fit for what we're trying to do, our culture, how they're going to perform in the classroom. We take a lot of pride in that. Both teams last year had high team GPAs, over 3.4 for both teams. So we look at all aspects, and really the last thing we look at is like how they're going to perform on the golf course. Because like I said, there's plenty of junior golfers out there to find that. We want to make sure that they're the right fit when they come to the University of Findlay.
Okay. So say every year we lose and gain new athletes. How does this affect team cohesiveness?
Obviously it's different each year with different personalities, but I think we do a really good job of, some of our past players are still involved. My assistant coach, he played here for 4 years, and so obviously he's a past player. We do things with our alumni to keep them involved. So I don't think it's really that big of a change. We are preaching the same things year in and year out. So our team cohesiveness this year, I think, has been better than it's ever been on both sides.
Well, that's really good. My last question for you is, with the fall season in full swing, what are your expectations for the rest of the season?
So like I said, we have 2 tournaments left in the fall, and then our championship season is in the spring. So everything we essentially do is to prepare for late April and early May, our conference championship, regionals, nationals, things like that. So our expectations, we don't have certain goals throughout the year. We have one goal, and that's to get better and closer as a team every single day. And then we have what we call destinations. So we would like both of our teams to make it to the national championship. That's always one of our main things we focus on. And as long as we're improving every day the rest of the fall, over the winter, and then early spring, I think there's no reason why both those teams can't get to where we want to be.
Okay. And that's going to wrap it up for us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for joining us today on the Sports Report. I'm Alejandra Beltran. I'll see you next time.
UFTV is your university and community TV station.